let's see how good I am at predicting the future. I am going to predict the winners of every single Goodreads Choice Award category. I'm predicting even the categories that I'm not as familiar with, so the category that I predicted the most accurately was fantasy. Some of the other categories I was actually quite off on my predictions, but here I am once again making predictions, and this time I'm going to predict which book wins. My predictions are based off vibes. Now I am also looking at number of ratings, number of people shelving the book, average rating, and release date. So all of these play a factor, but mostly I'm looking at all of those things and just going what feels right, and then that's the one I'm picking. So with that, let's get into the first category, which is fiction. Fiction has some serious, stiff competition. My word, I've not read any of these books, so I can't even go based on like what I thought of any of the books. My top three, I guess I will say, is Intermezzo, Good Material, and The Wedding People. But for this prediction list, I am going to make myself pick a winner, not it could be these ones. I'm going to make myself pick a single winner. And I'm going with The Wedding People. Why? Because I think it's going to win. Also based on a release date, average rating, and a number of people rating and shelving it. But it's close. It's close. It's going to be The Wedding People. The next category is history and biography, and there's not really competition in this category. It is The Demon of Unrest. It stands well above all the other books as far as popularity goes. There's not really competition here. The next category is historical fiction, and my lord, are some of these books popular. Like, there's multiple books with over 1 million people shelving it, and with like hundreds of thousands of ratings. It's still going to be The Women. The Women is the most popular among all of the historical fiction. But like, this is also like, I think this is right up there with the fiction category as far as the number of popular books. My word. For mystery and thriller, this is another really, really, really tight race. And I'm actually voting against Frida McFadden. I cannot believe I'm saying this. It is either The Teacher by Frida McFadden or First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. And I'm going with First Lie Wins. There's 2 Frida McFadden books, so it might split the vote. I think that The Teacher's more popular, but I'm going with First Lie Wins. I think First Lie Wins has a chance of winning this category. So that is my pick. Romance is another category that, oh my word, so many people read the books in this category, and there's so many like huge names in this category. The 3 that I am determining, like the top 3 books in this category, are going to be Bride by Allie Hazelwood, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and Funny Story by Emily Henry. And my pick as the winner is Funny Story by Emily Henry. It's gonna be a close one, but I think Funny Story is the most popular, well-loved romance book. We will see if I'm correct. For romantasy, I don't really think there is a competition in this category. I think it is going to House of Flame and Shadow. There's some really popular books, but I don't think any of them reach the level of Sarah J. Maas. So House of Flame and Shadow is my prediction for this category. Fantasy is a category that I don't think is going to be that close. There are a couple other books in contention with who I think might be the winner, but I'm pretty sure my prediction is correct. So my prediction is the winner is going to be The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. Leigh Bardugo wins pretty much every time she's in this category or is a nominee for the Goodreads Choice Awards. She also has really good numbers behind her book. The only drawback is The Familiar does not have as high of an average rating as the other 2 books that I think could be in contention, but I still think Leigh Bardugo is more popular. So the other possibilities are Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune and Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands by Heather Fawcett. They both have higher average ratings, but they don't have quite as many people shelving or rating them, so I am still going with The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. For science fiction, this is another category where there is one winner that's like well above the others. I do want to say in my live reaction, I said I was only voting in the fantasy category because that's the only category that I've read any of the books in. I am going ahead and voting for Moon of the Turning Leaves. I read the first book in this series and I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorites. And this is not a very serious competition. People vote even whenever they don't read the book. So like, who am I to be out here going, I've not read the book, so I'm not going to vote. I've read a book by this author in this same series. I am going to go ahead and vote for Moon of the Turning Leaves, and you should too, because it doesn't stand a chance of winning, but if we all band together. The book that is going to win this category is The Ministry of Time. I have seen this book around a lot. I actually don't know a lot about it, but oh my gosh, it is very popular, and I think it's way more popular than any of the other books in this category. For horror, there's some close competition in this category. There's a couple that I think it could go to. So the runners up for this category are We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kluver, Murder Road by Simon St. James, and the one I'm picking as the winner is You Like It Dark by Stephen King. It's literally Stephen King. I'm going to go with the name recognition. They're all really close. If you look at the numbers and the average ratings, I feel like it could be a toss-up between them, but I'm still going with Stephen King. I'm going to assume that maybe people don't have this on their shelf, but they're still going to vote for it because Stephen King. For debut novel, I am once again going with The Ministry of Time. I don't think there's much competition among this list. I think The Ministry of Time stands out way above the others as far as all of the numbers go. And I'm kind of sad to say that because I kind of hate whenever a book wins multiple categories because I wish we could have another winner. But I think A Ministry of Time might win 2 categories this year. The next category is favorite audiobook, and I have absolutely no idea what to do with this category. Like, how am I supposed to even guess? I don't know how people are going to vote in this category. Like, what about the people who don't listen to audiobooks? Some of them might still vote in this category because they really liked a particular book. And they're like, I like this book, so I'm going to vote for it. And there's other people that are, audiobook connoisseurs that are going to vote based on, I guess, best performance. And there's some people that are going to vote based on whether or not they like the book regardless of performance. And I think that's like one of the hardest things too about this category is like Goodreads is the data from people who read audiobooks and people who don't read audiobooks. They do say if you read the rules and eligibility, they are pulling data from Audible in order to make their audiobook category. And really, I think the audiobook category is to boost their Audible numbers or to showcase their Audible originals, which I'm actually going to go with an Audible original for the winner of this category. But it also kind of breaks my brain because this is not a book that came out this year. I don't know, are people not going to vote for it because it didn't come out this year? I don't know what to do with this category. It breaks my brain, okay? So I'm picking 1984 as the audiobook for the winner of this category. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I am. Here's my reasoning. Whenever I mentioned that, I've chatted in some of the book discords about this category and about 1984 being on the category, and some people said, oh yeah, Audible came out with a full cast production of 1984. It's an Audible original. It has Andrew Garfield in it. There was a lot of people who was like, yeah, that makes total sense. There was a new full cast production. And I know a lot of people love their full cast productions and might rate it higher because it is a full cast production instead of a single narrator or even like dual POV narration. So that's definitely playing into my reasoning. Hopefully I'm right. We'll see. I don't know if I want to be right. I don't know if I want 1984 to win. But that's my reasoning anyway. Okay, moving on to YA fantasy, and goodness, this is a tough one. There is some stiff competition. I think it's going to be between Ruthless Vows and Reckless. And I literally went back and forth and I picked one, and then I sat down to film this video and I changed my mind, and I might change my mind again here as I explain it. But these two are so close. They are so close. Ruthless Vows has a few more people rating it and shelving it, but it came out almost a year ago now. And Reckless came out more recently. It is, I think, the second book in the Powerless series. And the Powerless series seems to be so popular right now. I'm going to go with Powerless because of recency bias. I think people reading it and loving it right now are maybe going to be swayed to vote for it, even if they also love Ruthless Vows, because Powerless is like on the brain currently, whereas Ruthless Vows came out almost a year ago. It's the last book in that duology, and, you know, we've had time to, you know, settle, conclude that chapter and move on. So I'm gonna go with Reckless. This is so hard, guys. Now we're gonna move to young adult fiction, and young adult fiction is another category that is so hard. I've also read none of the books in this category. I've read none of the books in most of these categories, but I also know nothing about the books in this category. So my two books are going to be either Heartstopper or The Disappearance of Rachel Price. The reappearance of Rachel Price. It's not the disappearance, it's the reappearance of Rachel Price. So it's one of those two. I'm going with Heartstopper simply because it's a TV show. Is that a bad reason? Maybe. But I'm going with Heartstopper. Wish me luck. Moving on to nonfiction, this is another category that there's absolutely no competition in. The winner is going to be Anxious Generation. Moving on to our final category, we have memoirs. And I'm going to say that this category has no competition, and there is a clear winner, and that winner is Psychopath. I think there's a wrench in this particular category, but I'm still going with Psychopath as my winner because I don't think there's competition. However, From Here to the Great Unknown just released. And that makes me nervous. I think it has potential to be popular. I'm going with Psychopath. Psychopath's the winner of this category. And there you have my predictions for all the winners in these categories. I will be doing a live show reaction for the winners whenever the winners are announced. I will have my live reaction of whether or not I'm correct. So tell me in the comments if you think I'm wrong about any of these categories. And I hope to see you in another video. Happy reading!